And we are back, mga ka-tribe. Welcome to your new lesson here in Blueprint, which is trade planning. And again, I am Raf, and I'll be teaching you today how to plan your trade. Welcome to Trade Planning 101, and I hope excited na kayo sa lesson na to. I hope madami na kayo tutunan from moving averages, support and resistances, and more. So today, I'll be teaching you on how to plan your trade again. So before we go on to that, recap muna tayo. Let's take a recap on moving averages. O, di ba ako nagturo niyan moving averages? So recap muna tayo. Again, in the ZFT system, we have three moving averages, right? The 20-day moving averages, or the red one, or for short term, right? The second one is the 50-day moving average, or the pink one, also for the medium term. And for the long term is the 100-day moving average, or the blue one for long term. So in this example, you can see this chart bang. Ito uptrend to, right? Because in an uptrend, the price is above the moving averages, right? Another example, the uptrend, so price is above the moving averages, or the moving averages are below the price. Opposite naman, if the price is below the moving averages and the moving averages are above the price, this means the stock is on a downtrend or a bearish sentiment, right? And if it's like this, if the MAs are nag-spaghetti or nag-crisscross, we call this a ranging or sideways movement, or we can also consider this as sometimes as consolidations, depending on how it looks like, right? So for today, you're going to be learning about trade planning in these three types of movements: trade planning in an uptrend, trade planning in a downtrend, and trade planning in sideways. So ready na ba kayo? Right? So why is this important? Is because you need to set your expectations, right? Trade planning is all about expectation setting on how the stock will move in accordance with your bias and, of course, with the trend. In the ZFT system, on how we approach our trades, there are certain setups that may only be applicable in the different trend. Iba yung trade plan mo sa uptrend, iba yung trade plan mo sa downtrend, iba yung trade plan mo sa sideways, because again, it's expectation setting. The stock has different behaviors depending on the trend it is in, right? Let's go trade planning in an uptrend. So how do we plan our trades when the stock is in an uptrend, right? So we can use the AOTS or our MAs. In the past lessons, we talked about different kinds of plays, diba? So if it's an AOTS, we can buy on the ZS confirmation, right? And then just trail our trades depending on the moving averages we choose. So pwede tayo mag-trail using 20 MA or 50 MA. So ano ba meaning ng trail is magbebenta na lang tayo if nag-breakdown yung price dun sa specific moving averages that we set. Alright? So, as the saying goes, with this, the trend is your friend except at the end of where it bends. So, in the AOTS, we can trade plan na if nag-ZS confirmation, let's say nag-ZS confirmation siya, and then we just sell on the 20-day moving average. Because again, the easy trades are on uptrends. So, we don't need to stress ourselves too much, and we can just ride the trend with the moving average, right? So that's an example of how we plan our trades on an uptrend. In the ZFT system, we use generally the moving average, right? Next, on a downtrend. So paano tayo mag-trade plan on a downtrend? So isipin nyo kaya, paano ba? So balik tayo sa moving average na lesson natin, di ba? ZS plays, whether it's a mini ZS or a zoo strike, right? It's basically a play on a downtrend. It's basically bottom fishing. And that's what we're gonna do on downtrends. Now, it's either we're gonna buy on ZS or mini ZS. If kanina, sa uptrends, we buy on AOTS or zoo strike confirmation, here on a downtrend, we usually play it on a ZS or mini ZS. Compared to mini ZS and ZS, syempre mas safe yung ZS because again, it's a stronger moving average. So again, this is counter trend trading. So be very careful and study your trades, backtest it before you go into these kinds of plays. Alright? Next, sideways. So again, at the end of the day, it depends on your trading profile. But when you trade your plan on a sideways, the best way to approach this is on buy on support and sell on resistance, because your bias here, your expectation is mag-bounce lang siya. Ganon. Right? So you buy on support and you sell on resistance on a sideways. That's how you trade your plan on the sideways behavior. Alright? Goods na tayo dyan sa trade planning. Paano naman tayo magbenta and bibili? Where to buy and where to sell? I'm gonna teach you. Start muna tayo sa entry strategy. So, I'm gonna talk about different types of entry strategy. So, we have 3, right? We have buy on breakout of our resistance. So, buy on breakout, buy on established support, right? Buy on support, and or buy on consolidation. So, again, this is all about expectation setting. So, when we buy a stock, right, depending whether it's resistance or support or consolidation, we need to have the right expectation when we're buying these things. Hindi pwede bibili ka, buy on support, tapos nagmamadali ka, right? Hindi naman pwede na buy on resistance ka, tapos hahayaan mo lang. So we need to factor these things, and yan, we're gonna talk about these types of entry strategies. Yan, so start tayo sa buy on breakout. So when you're buying on breakout is usually for momentum traders. Why? Ano ba yung logic behind buy on breakouts? Is because when you're buying on breakout, you have this expectation at the back of your mind that there are buyers willing to buy this stock at a higher price. So with this logic, that means there's momentum kicking in. And then when you buy on breakout, most probably you should sell on resistance. With that momentum, right? With that expectation in your head, this will cause na you have this expectation na aangat siya, so you can sell the stock at a higher price. You're looking for signs of strength dito. So usually, ano ba yung mga breakouts na binibili mo dito? Kasi usually resistances to, no? So it's either major price resistance, usually whole numbers, right? Or kung saan madalas nag-resist yung price sa stock. Second is Darvas box resistance, right? Box stop. Next is moving averages. So again, we talked about it na ba downtrend, moving averages can signify as resistance. Sometimes on an uptrend din. Diba? If nagbumaba yung price ng stock dun sa moving average, it can already be classified as resistance, right? If it's below. And the next is Fibonacci levels, right? But at the end of the day, it's all about price. So depende lang kung anong titignan mo, right? So, kailan ka bibili when you're buying on resistance? Is it end of day or intraday? The safer answer would be end of day, because if you're buying end of day sa resistance, sure ka na nag-breakout na siya sa level na yon. A caveat lang here or warning is when you usually buy on EOD, there's a chance na pag bumili ka end of day, baka masyado nang mataas yung price sa breakout levels. So again, it depends on what kind of trader you are and how you plan your trade. Pero if you want a safer entry, end of day is the answer, right? So dito mo kasi you're confirming if the breakout is valid or not. So you have that downside lang naman. You have that other downside na it might be too high when you enter, right? So when you're buying intraday naman, you could be first, but at the same time there's this downside of baka mag-fake out lang siya within the day, or it might close below the breakout level. So again, the stock market is a game of probabilities and how you manage your risks. So it depends on you. So look at this example. So you bought on breakout or ZS, actual ZS play. This can be considered as an actual ZS play if it's coming from a strong downtrend, right? Or a downtrend. So you buy on breakout. Yeah. So that's an example. This example, we're buying on breakout sa moving average. Next example, you buy on this breakout, right? Bumili ka sa breakout no Darvas box sa box stop. So these are certain examples that we covered in your lesson, either buying on breakout of significant price or moving average or a Darvas box. The next thing is buy on established support. So usually mga nag-buy on support are swing traders or position traders. Why is it good to buying at established support? It's because we have a lower average entry price. So if we have a lower average entry price, this means we can have a potential higher reward and lower risk. Yung downside lang na to, baka maipit ka sa consolidation kasi hindi mo alam if aangat or magko-consolidate. Depending on the trade, it's good to buy on supports as this will result again to a lower average entry price, thus higher returns and lower risk if the trade goes along with your bias. I'll give you an example. Look at this chart. Right? So that's the support area. You buy your positions there. So yun yung sinasabi ko 'di ba? Na baka mamaya maipit ka if you buy on support tapos hindi ka mag-sell on resistance. There's a chance na maipit ka, but if it's within your trading plan na you buy on support and then you sell on resistance, then good for you. The keyword here is establish support, right? So you need to make sure na when you buy, you make sure na it's support. Kasi pag hindi ka bumili, if bumili ka tas di pa in-establish support, there's a chance na you're gonna cut your positions and the stock price will go down. So if this happens, even if it's established support, be ready to cut when you need to. Even this may result to a lower AEP and a higher return if the trade goes in your plan, right? This is still risky. Again, stock market is a game of risks. Why is this risky? Is because the support might break down, and when you break down, dun ka magka-cut ng losses. Or the same time, another risk would be na when you buy on support, masyadong matagal ka maghihintay. Right? Get that? Next is buying on consolidation, or what we call a position trade. If you remember our lesson, I mentioned the sleeper play. So it falls on this category, right? You're not buying on support, but you're accumulating shares on the consolidation. That's why you buy on consolidation. So usually we anticipate the ZS plays here, or we anticipate that the stock will break a boss breakout. So the caveat lang here is it might break down, or you don't know when the consolidation will end. So in this example, you're buying on consolidation, ilang days yan, and then you wait for it to break out. Alright, so I hope you learned something new, and that you learned something that you can apply in your trading journey with the types of entry strategies. And now we're going to proceed to types of exit strategies. So with the exit strategies, we have 4 types, or 4 exits, right? We have the target price, we have the trail stops, profit stops, and time stops. And iisa-isahin natin yan today, and I hope this could enlighten you when it comes to selling in the stock market. Let's go with target price. So what is target price? How do we sell in target price? So target price is either a target profit or established resistance, right? So when you're selling at a target profit, right? So for example, you go into a trade, and then yung trade plan mo o yung risk mo is 4%, and you want is gusto mo ng 1:3 na risk reward ratio. So you're aiming at 12%. So yung target price mo or yung target profit mo would be 12% ng angat ng stock. It doesn't matter if may resistance yan. It doesn't matter if may if may moving average yan. Basta your goal is yung target profit mo is 12%. So that's what we call a target profit. So it depends on you. 5% ba yan? 10%, 20%, 50%. It's up to your trading plan. Next is established resistance. So selling at established resistance is because you see a resistance na it's gonna weaken and you don't want to lose your profits already. Usually, when you sell at established resistance, it's also where you set your target profit, right? So you look at the resistance and then you measure the target profit, and then you're gonna think na is this trade worth it? Selling at an established resistance is when you set your exit at certain resistances at the chart. So whether Darvas box or whether it's moving average, right? So it's up to you. This could be a Darvas resistance or indicator-based resistance, such as moving average or Fibonacci levels. But never, ito guys huwag nyong gagawing target price yung sinabi ng mga guru sa Facebook or yung mga naririnig nyong price analysis or chart analysis dyan sa kung saan. You have your own mind, you enrolled in Blueprint to know these things and execute them. So let's move on. Next is selling at trail stops. So ano ba tong trail stops? In the ZFT system, we usually use trail stops with our moving averages or our Darvas. So personally, I use trail stops with my moving averages. So usually 20-day. So why do we do this trail stops? It's because, let's say meron kang target profit, but yung target profit mo, at the back of your mind, you will only sell 50% of your position, and then the rest, you're gonna trail it, or you're gonna let it trade, diba? Sabi nga natin that trend is your friend until it breaks, right? So until it breaks is you use your trail stop. So either moving average or yung mga Darvas boxes. So ang logic nito is, for example, nag-sell half ka na sa target profit mo, then umaangat yung stock, then you sell if nag-breakdown siya sa 20-day moving average or sa 50-day moving average. That's what we call a trail stop. So this is for you, again, to protect your profits from returning to miss market. Kasi mahirap na yung ibalik yung nasa iyo pa tas mawawala pa. Anyway, next is profit stops, right? So ano tong profit stops? So, same with trail stops. It's quite similar with trail stops because it protects your gains from returning to the market. So, a profit stop is, I'll give you an example. Let's say you earned already 10,000 pesos in a trade. And at the back of your mind, you have this na, ayoko nang mawala ng another 2,000 sa trade. So, yung profit stops mo is 2,000. So, let's say, yung 10,000 na gain mo, magka-cut ka na if if bumalik yan ng 8,000 because ayaw mo na lumagpas dun eh. So, let's say, umangat na siya ng 15,000. So, magpa-profit stop ka ng 2,000 pesos. So, pag nag-13,000 yan, bebenta ka na. So, that's what a profit stop is. So, the difference between the profit stop and the trail stop, a tangible difference is, in the chart, there's no indicators involved with the profit stop. It's really based on you. Ikaw bahala dito kung ano yung profit stop mo. Depende kung saan ka magiging happy. Di ba? So, usually, pwede, if aside from what I said, pwede yung set mo na parang 10% yung profit stop ko. Let's say, kumita na ng 30% yung stock. Sige, hindi ko pa yung bebenta. Pero pag bumagsak na yan ng 10%, doon na ako magbebenta. Alright? Next is time stops. So, ano yung time stops? So, when you're buying at a consolidation, minsan kasi mahirap yung maghintay sa wala eh. Maghihintay ka, umaasa ka. So, you need to make sure that, syempre, time is also an asset, right? And in the stock market, we want to earn as fast as we can. So, yung time stops, we use this to make sure na hindi tayo may ipit sa isang consolidation. Whether we're buying at the highs or buying consolidations, we use time stops. So, usually, ikaw yung mag-set ng number of days depending on the setup that you traded. So, if let's say that you're buying on consolidation at the highs, so usually 5 days. Or when you're buying consolidations, gusto mo yung time stop mo is 1 month. So that again, it depends on you. So we use this so that we don't want to be stuck. So we won't be stuck in a particular stock. Alright? So, gets nyo ba yun? Checkpoint. So this will be a question exam and I will guide you through it. So I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to answer each item. If maiksi yung 5 seconds na yun, you can pause the video and let's go. First one, trail stop can be set at A, previous Starbucks box, B, Fibonacci levels, C, moving average, or D, all of the above. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answer is all of the above. Yes, you can set your trail stops anywhere. Right? It depends on you and your trading approach and your trading plan. Number 2, selling with the use of a time stop is a technical approach since this involves technical indicators. True or false? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answer is false. It doesn't use any technical indicators. You set this because ayaw mo maipit sa isang stock. Number 3, identify the type of entry strategy with signals, momentum, or signs of strength. A, buy on breakout, B, buy on established support, or C, buy on consolidation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answer is buy on breakout. Again, when you're buying on breakout, you're expecting momentum to kick in and most probably you're gonna sell on strength. Number 4, when buying on breakout, it is only advisable to do it at the end of day and not intraday. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is false. Again, it depends on your trader profile. It depends on your approach. You can buy at end of day or intraday. Both has its risk and both has its rewards. Next, number 5, buying on support is considered risky since this is also buying on weakness. True or false? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is true. Because again, in the stock market, it's a game of risks. Right? Buying support is also considered risky because there's a chance of it breaking down. Or the support might not hold. And number 6, a breakout from an established resistance could be Darvas resistance, moving average, Fibonacci levels, or all of the above. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All of the above. So, yan, pwedeng resistances lahat. Like Darvas box, moving average, Fibonacci levels. Yan. Number 7, target price is the price set by the recommendations of your broker or Facebook group gurus. True or false? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. False. Hindi nga, di ba? You have your own mind. You can trade your own. Kaya ka nagbo-blueprint para hindi ka na umaasa sa mga gurus na yan. Kasi sometimes, hinahype nila yung price. Right? So we want to avoid that. Number 8. Trail stop and profit stop are somewhat similar. True or false? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is true. So we used both stops to protect our gains. So yung isa lang, based on technical indicators, and yung isa is based on you. So, those are yun yung exam natin. I hope madami kayo natutunan. So, if may mali kayo, reviewin nyo. If tama kayo, good job. So, next part, how to buy and sell. So, in this section, you're gonna know about different orders. So, this is a much more technical approach in a way na more on familiarizing yung mga platforms or terms in buying and selling in the stock market itself or in the brokers, right? So types of buy orders. So yung mga orders usually opposite lang siya ng isa't isa. So ngayon I'll be teaching you types of buy orders. So you have market order, limit order, and buy up or sagasa buy. So yung market order, this is buying at the market price. If the market price is at 10 pesos and you execute a market order, it's gonna execute at 10 pesos. It depends also at the ask side. So if may available siyang shares na gusto mong bilhin at a certain price, the market price, market order, since nag-market order ka, then expect it to be filled. So yan, that's an example. Yan, placing a buy order. Consider it as market order kasi yung price ng stock is at 10.30. Limit order. So yung limit order naman is buying at a specific price if you don't want to buy at the market order because you think that the price will still return or will visit that area. So if let's say yung target yung market order is at 10 pesos, 'di ba? Pero feeling mo hindi bababa pa yan ng 9 pesos or gusto ko lang siya bilhin pag 9 pesos. So you set a limit order in that area. All right? So pumipila ka sa bid side na mababa and you're waiting it for it to be filled. So if you're doing this though, remember that there's a chance na baka hindi ma-fill yung order mo since you're buying at a lower price and there's a chance na baka magtuloy-tuloy lang siyang umangat. So for example, yan, 10.30 yung price ni now and you place a limit order ng 10.24 or 10.20, diba? You place a limit order. So buy up or sagasa buy order. So this happens usually if nagbe-breakout na yung stock. Right? So gusto mo na siya bilhin kasi hindi ka na mapaghintay. Ayaw mong maiwan sa breakout or pag numinipis na yung volume pataas, binabuy up mo na para makita ng ibang players na nagbe-breakout na yung stock, right? So you're buying this above the market price. Right? So for example, the price is 10 pesos and then you're buying it in 11 pesos. So yung mga orders from 10 pesos to 11 pesos, i-fill mo yun lahat. So yan, for example, 10.30 again yung now and you want to buy shares but the ask side is, kumbaga, 10.30 yung market price pero yung shares na available hindi na mag-cater sa'yo. So you buy it up para ma-cater lahat ng shares na gusto mong bilhin. Right? So yan. Types of sell order. So same lang siya again. Market order, limit order, sell down order, or sagasa sell. So I'm gonna run you through it. So market order again, you're selling at market price. PXP, 1356 yung price. Then you're selling at, if you place a market order, then you sell it at 1356. Limit order, you're selling it at a specific price. So usually yung limit order is you're selling at target price. So if you want, parang gusto mo mag-chill trade na bumili ka ng stock ng 10 pesos, gusto mo siya benta ng 15 pesos, so magsiset ka na ng limit sell sa 15 pesos para pag nag-hit siya doon, pag umangat siya doon, ma-fill na kagad yung order mo and makapag-sell ka na kagad ng profits. You need to be careful though, baka mamaya kasi na like the limit order in the buy side, right? There's a chance that it might not be filled since na baka mamaya hindi na siya umabot yung price doon sa gusto mong mabentahan. Like this one, 1356 price ng PXP and then yung ask side, right? 1358, let's say may nagta-target profit dyan or gusto magbenta at a high price, so 1358, 1364, those are limit orders. Sell down or sagasa sell. So, ito, you're selling below the market price. Tuwing kailan nangyayari ito, usually nagsasagasa sell ka if nagka-cut ka ng positions and ayaw mo na mabenta at a lower price. So, for example, 10 pesos ka bumili, gusto mo mag-cut ng 9 pesos. If nakikita mo nag-9 pesos na, boom, nag-sell ka, sagasa lang, wala kang pakialam. Gusto mo lang umalis sa position mo. So, pwede siya umabot ng 8 pesos or 8.50. So, depende on the situation. Pero yung sagasa order is usually when you cut your losses. Yan, gusto mo kasi you wanna make sure na aalis ka na sa position na yun. Or same thing rin naman, if mag-target profit ka, na if you want to sagasa sell, let's say na 9 pesos and then umangat yung stock ng 10 pesos, di ba? Pero gusto mo nang sell lahat. So, magsasagasa sell ka, even let's say 10 pesos to 9.8. Parang ganun. So, I hope you get the analogy. I hope you get the example. So, that's a sagasa sell order. So, there's an example, right? 1356 price on PXP. And you can see the ask shares and the bid price, right? So if you have so many shares and you want to make sure na ma-fill na kagad yung orders mo, so you sell everything until na ma-accommodate yung shares mo at a lower price. Yeah. So ito, GTC orders. So it could be buying or selling. So what is GTC orders? GTC is good till canceled. So ito yung mga orders na pwede mong iset for good for 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year, or depende yan sa broker mo. So, the next thing I'm going to be talking about is cutting losses. Why is cutting losses important? It's because, as traders, we live to fight another day, right? We need to make sure that we cut our losses fast and quick. Fast because we want to make sure na safe yung portfolio natin. Na it's within risk, manageable yung risk na nawala sa atin. So, as a trader, it is also important to set your cut loss level at the price of which your bias is towards the trade is invalidated. So, pag na-invalidate na yung trade mo, you cut your positions already. Right? So, remember this, guys. When you cut your losses, that's part of your plan. It doesn't mean what happened is bad. The situation is bad. Because losing is part of the game in the stock market. But losing big is your fault. Right? So that we want to make sure that we keep our losses small and our winners big. Right? So never let your emotions hit the best of you. Kasi hindi pwede na you have your set na magkakat ka ng gantong price. Pero because of your ego, na hindi, mag-hold lang ako and trader ka tapos naging investor ka pa. We don't want that to happen to you. So never average down on your losers. Remember that, guys. Cut your loss. The reason why we're teaching this is for you to stay on this in the long run and for you to be successful in this endeavor. Alright? So here's a quote from Jesse Livermore, one of the best traders that existed. A loss never bothers me after I take it. I forget it overnight. But being wrong, not taking the loss, that is what does damage to the pocketbook and to the soul. So, Jesse Livermore na mismo nagsabi na it's part of the game being wrong, and the wrong thing to do is not to cut your losses. So, we have a question for you. Write this on your notebook, reflection paper. Pag-isipan nyo, senti-senti. Sa lahat ng pinag-usapan natin today, right? You know how to trade, you know how to plan your trade already. But we want to ask you this question. Why is cutting losses an important part of being a trader? Think about it. Reflectan nyo yun, lahat pinag-usapan natin today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Sobrang juicy, ang dami natin na pinag-usapan. So, just rewatch this and I hope you learned a lot from me. So, if you have any questions, pag-usapan natin yan. This is Rafael Bustamante signing out. See you in the next episode.